Join our community by subscribing. Every click helps us share more stories like this one. Chapter 1. The Introduction. The rain fell in steady sheets over the small town of Cedarwood, creating a rhythmic symphony against the old, cracked pavement. It was an ordinary autumn evening, but beneath the surface of this quiet locality rested an undercurrent of unease. The air was thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves, punctuated only by the occasional flash of lightning that illuminated the night sky. At the heart of Cedarwood lay an abandoned factory, a silhouette against the dim lights of the street lamps. Over the years, it transformed into a gathering spot for thrill-seeking teenagers and a backdrop for curious hauntings. Its peeling paint and shattered windows were the stories of lives forgotten. But tonight, it would become the epicenter of a mystery that would shake this town to its core. At 9:15 p.m., the grim call came through to the Cedarwood Police Department. Dispatch rattled off a terse report. A body had been discovered inside the old factory's main hall. Officers responded swiftly, the sirens cutting through the tranquil night, turning the flickering streetlights into harbingers of doom. Detective Anna Weston, a seasoned officer known for her tenacity, lifted her collar against the rain as she stepped from her car. The factory loomed ominously, a dark monolith that loomed larger in the shadows. As she approached, uniformed officers cordoned off the area, their breath billowing in visible puffs of fog. "Detective," one officer greeted her, his expression a mix of disbelief and concern. "You're not going to believe this." Steeling herself, Anna could sense the weight of the unspoken words hanging in the air. Amidst the leftover remnants of industry and neglect, something grievously human awaited them, a horrifying revelation that would thrust the town into a chilling chapter of its history. Chapter 2. The Victim. As Detective Anna Weston stepped over the threshold of the factory, the unmistakable smell of mold and decay filled her nostrils. The dim illumination of flashlights revealed scattered debris and rusted industrial remnants that echoed a forgotten past. In the center of the main hall, the officers gathered intently around a prone figure, a chilling scene that made her heart race against the backdrop of the stillness. The victim lay on a piece of cracked concrete, half hidden beneath discarded tarps and machinery parts. Anna's eyes adjusted to the dim light as she approached, focusing on the features of the young woman sprawled before her. A wave of uneasiness washed over her as she knelt beside the body, urgent to piece together who this girl had been. She was in her early 20s, with dark hair matted and tangled, her clothes tattered and smeared with dirt. Despite the circumstances, Anna noticed the delicate arc of her brow and the vibrant shimmer of an unfinished tattoo on her forearm, a whimsical butterfly, vibrant yet lifeless. A purse lay nearby, unsullied by the debris, suggesting that the crime wasn't motivated by theft. It found. Anna inquired, her eyes scanning the victim's surroundings for a sign of the girl's life before the tragedy. "Not yet," one of the officers replied, visibly shaken. "But we found her cell phone. It's still functional." Anna's pulse quickened. The digital trail could lead them to who she was, friends, family, and perhaps the events leading up to this horrific evening. She had seen lifeless bodies before. However, this one felt personal. As the medical examiner arrived, their presence transformed the scene from that of an investigation to a surgical dissection of sorrow. Anna felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility. She was determined that this young woman would not become just another statistic. As she caught a glimpse of the tattoo again, a question lingered unasked in the back of her mind. Who had this girl been before she became a ghost haunting Cedarwood? Chapter 3. The Crime Scene. The unsettling silence of the factory enveloped Detective Anna Weston as she began her meticulous examination of the scene surrounding the victim. Blue and red lights from the police cars flickered, distorting the darkness as if to signal the urgency of uncovering the truth. She stepped back, searching for anything that could lend context to the threat. The factory's vastness was overwhelming, with towering rafters and shadows that danced along the walls. Anna moved methodically, keeping her gaze sharp for clues. Scattered debris littered the ground-rusted gears, broken glass, and the remnants of a life once lively. The echoes of metallic clangs seemed to whisper stories of despair, each note resonating with her growing dread. Get the forensics team to examine this area, starting with the perimeter, she instructed her team, her voice steady despite the turmoil in her gut. We need to know where she came from before she got here. As they began to tape off sections, Anna's attention was drawn to a series of footprints leading away from the body. They were faint but discernible, surprisingly fresh tracks in the layer of dust that coated the floor. The realization sent a shiver down her spine. This wasn't just a crime scene, it was an event gone awry. The team moved with purpose, collecting evidence while preserving the integrity of the location. Anna knelt down to inspect the ground near the victim's hand, where she noticed something glinting an earring, its gemstone catching the light. Turning it over, her heart sank as she noted the unique design. She somehow recognized it, vague memories colliding with the present. Search the area for any additional personal items, she called out, the urgency in her voice sending officers scattering like leaves in the wind. This might belong to someone close to her. As they combed through the debris, Anna felt the weight of the unanswered questions press upon her. She needed to reconstruct the final moments of the young woman's life. She needed answers. The factory had become a ghost town in its own right, a place where secrets lingered, and it was her job to uncover them before they faded away forever. Chapter 4. The Early Investigation. With dawn casting a soft glow over Cedarwood, Detective Anna Weston settled into her cramped office, cluttered with case files and remnants of cold coffee. The flash of the previous night's events replayed in her mind, moments spiraling into questions, and questions spiraling into urgency. The clock ticked away the early hours, each passing moment intensifying her determination to uncover the truth. The forensics team had gathered the evidence from the factory quickly, providing preliminary reports that Anna scanned with laser focus. The victim was identified as Alyssa Green, a local student known for her artistic ambitions. While Anna had never met her, the faces of Alyssa's peers flickered through her memory, a gallery of youthful potential dimmed by tragedy. Hours later, the investigative team assembled around a long table strewn with photographs and notes. Her cell phone has a few recent calls, an officer began, flipping through the folder. Most of them are to a number listed as Katie, a close friend. We also found texts that suggest she was meeting someone the night she died. Did she mention who? Who? Anna pressed, her voice filled with a mix of hope and trepidation. Nothing concrete, but there's a message here about a confrontation. We need to speak with Katie, the officer replied, glancing at the rest of the team for affirmation. Understanding the gravity of the moment, Anna nodded decisively. Let's get in touch with her. It's vital that we understand what Alyssa's state of mind was before she ended up at the fact. Anna then delved into examining the earring they had found, her mind drifting back to its intricate design. She recalled seeing something similar worn by students at the nearby art school. The connection filled her with a sense of urgency. Perhaps it had a deeper significance, one that could crack open the case. As the day unfolded, Anna drove the investigative thrust forward. She knew they were racing against time. A town, gripped in fear, needed reassurance that justice would prevail. But for Alyssa, buried beneath the weight of sorrow, she needed answers. Little did Anna know the cracks in the surface of this seemingly quiet town were about to expose a darkness it had long buried. Chapter 5. The Dead Ends. The atmosphere in Cedarwood began to shift as rumors seeped through the community, like a slow poison. Fear and uncertainty tightened their grip, and Anna Weston felt the weight of it with each passing day. Though she was determined to follow every lead, it became increasingly apparent that time was eroding their chances of finding justice for Alyssa Green. Anna sat across from Katie Robinson, Alyssa's friend, in a small, sterile interview room at the station. Despite the young woman's tear-streaked cheeks, there was an air of fragility and desperation about her that tugged at Anna's heartstrings. She leaned in, hoping to coax out the answers that eluded everyone. I don't understand why this happened," Katie stammered, her hands shaking. Alyssa was excited about something she was working on, a big project. But she didn't say much about it. She just texted me that she was meeting someone, but wouldn't tell me who. Did she seem worried? Upset? Anna pressed, searching for cracks in Katie's memory. No, she was actually really happy. Bragging about her art show, Katie murmured, pausing for a moment. She did mention a guy named Marcus. Once said he could help her, but he didn't live in town. Anna's heart sank. It wasn't much to go on, and after a quick search, they couldn't find anyone named Marcus associated with Alyssa. Did you ever meet him? No, Katie whispered. I never thought to ask for more details. I didn't think it mattered. Frustration welled within Anna as Katie's words echoed in her mind. They had already exhausted leads from nearby businesses and local hangouts, only to yield nothing substantial. No one had witnessed Alyssa's meeting. Every door they tapped on seemed to close. The threads of the puzzle remained stubbornly tangled. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, Anna returned to the station, grappling with a sense of despair that hovered like a thick fog. The uncertainty felt suffocating, the pressure from the community mounting. She quickly glanced through the evidence board, familiar faces staring back at her. There had to be something. One more hint that might lead her out of this labyrinth of dead ends. But the realization clawed at her if the investigation continued on this path. Alyssa's story might fade into obscurity, just like so many before. Anna would have to dig deeper, uncover what lay hidden beneath the surface, and confront the darkness that gripped Cedarwood before it swallowed them all. Chapter 6. A break in the case. 3 grueling days passed in the Cedarwood Police Department, and as the case dragged on, it felt as though hope was slipping through Anna Weston's fingers like sand. Each lead diminished, and the palpable weight of frustration settled heavily on her shoulders. But just as she began to ponder venturing back into the depths of the factory, the phone rang. Detective Weston? A voice crackled through the receiver, followed by a hesitant pause. I think I may have some information about Alyssa Green. Anna's heart raced, anticipation igniting a flicker of hope. Who is this? I'm Alex, a bartender at the Rusty Nail. The voice was shaky but earnest. Alyssa came in a few nights before she died. She was with a guy, Marcus, I think. Did you catch how she seemed? Anything unusual? Anna leaned into the phone, readying herself to note every detail. Not really, but she seemed nervous, you know. Like she was trying too hard to act casual. And I overheard him. He said something about needing to finish their deal that night. The strands of the investigation began to weave together, forming a missing link. Did they leave together? Yeah, I did, Alex replied, the urgency in his voice intensifying. I thought it was weird, but by the time I saw them go, there were more customers at the bar, so I didn't really think much of it. Anna breathed deeply, her mind spinning with the implications. Thank you, Alex. This could help, this could be everything. As soon as she hung up, Anna rallied her team, sharing the new lead with an energy that had been absent for days. They quickly launched a plan to locate Marcus and learn more about the purported deal he had mentioned. What could have drawn Alyssa into the dark, shadowy underbelly of Cedarwood? Before the dust could settle on the excitement of the breakthrough, Anna and a fellow officer headed to the Rusty Nail, hoping to find Alex and gather further insight. The bar was buzzing with the weekend crowd, a stark contrast to the quiet turmoil just days prior. As they approached the bar, Anna's gut churned with determination. This wasn't just about finding a suspect. It was about understanding the choices Alyssa made in her last days, helping to illuminate the darkness that shadowed her life. With each question posed and every clue uncovered, Anna's resolve deepened that she would unravel this web, uphold Alyssa's memory, and ensure that no other lives fell victim to it. Chapter 7. The Suspect. The dimly lit interior of the Rusty Nail held a collage of laughter and clinking glasses, a stark contrast to the solemn air that surrounded Anna Weston as she took a seat at the bar. She scanned the room, her gaze settling on Alex, the bartender, who seemed watchful, ready to point out anything that could sharpen their understanding of that fateful encounter days before. Detective, he greeted her as she approached, wiping down the counter nervously. Did you find out more about Marcus? Not yet. We want to know everything you can remember about that night, Anna pressed, urgency underlying her word. Alex leaned in closer, lowering his voice. He was a regular kind of charming, you know. But he had a way of making people feel uncomfortable, myself included. I remember he was overly friendly with Alyssa, asking her all sorts of personal questions. I thought she looked a bit uneasy, but she kept smiling, like she was trying to convince herself everything was all right. Anna frowned. Didn't you forget a last name? Anything else about him? I overheard him say something about finishing the deal tonight. It stuck with me, Alex replied, his brow furrowing in contemplation. And I... Suddenly, a new figure caught Anna's eye. A man strolled into the bar, tall with a disheveled appearance. His clothes hung loose, and he exuded a tense energy that triggered the detective's instincts. That's him, Alex murmured, recognizing the palpable uncertainty radiating from Anna as she assessed the stranger. Who is he? Anna questioned, narrowing her gaze. That's Marcus, Alex replied quietly. I'm sure of it. Anna watched intently as Marcus headed to a corner booth. She felt the surge of adrenaline push her forward, the crime she was trying to solve snapping into sharper focus. With a nod to her partner, she approached the booth, detectives embodying authority wrapped in urgency. Marcus, she called out, her voice firm but steady. He looked up, a flash of surprise evident on his face. "What is this about?" "We'd like to ask you some questions regarding Alyssa Green," Anna stated, unflinching. His expression darkened, concern etched into his features. "I don't know her." "You've got the wrong person?" Anna pressed onward, acutely aware of the tension coiling in the air. "We've spoken to witnesses who saw you with her just before her death." "Look, I'm just trying to enjoy my night." He attempted to slip past her, but Anna stepped closer, unwavering. "That won't work." "Then we're going to need you to come down to the station," she urged, her heart pounding in rhythm with the urgency of the moment. With his eyes flickering between the exits and the determined faces of the detectives, Marcus hesitated. There was a flash of panic, a reveal of something darker beneath, a whisper cautioning him against flight. "Why don't you just sit down and talk to us? We'd like to hear your side of the story," Anna offered, softening her tone slightly, sensing the balance of power shifting. As he sat back down, the realization dawned upon Anathis wasn't just a conversation. This was the point where the investigation emboldened itself, and she could finally begin to unveil the intricate layers of Alyssa's life, her choices, and the circumstances surrounding the tragedy that had struck Cedarwood. Chapter 8. Dark clouds. Dark clouds loomed over Cedarwood, casting a somber shadow on the day that had finally arrived. The small courthouse stood austere against the backdrop of a freshly fallen layer of autumn leaves, each step toward justice laden with the whispers of a community eager for closure. Detective Anna Weston sat in the back row, her heart rhythmically drumming in tune with the anticipation that filled the chamber. The trial for Marcus Hale had become the talk of the town, igniting passions and reviving memories of Alyssa Green's tragic end. His infiltration into the bar that fateful night had led to a mounting pile of evidence. Witness accounts, text messages, and forensic analysis that had all woven together to create a tapestry of undeniable guilt. Yet, Anna knew all too well that the courtroom could twist narratives, and the scales of justice hung precariously. As the gavel struck, signaling the beginning of proceedings, Anna watched with bated breath as the prosecutor outlined the case against Marcus. Alyssa Green was a young woman with dreams. She wanted to be an artist, but those dreams were violently cut short when she crossed paths with the defendant, the prosecutor asserted. With every pointed statement, every piece of evidence laid bare, Anna felt both a sense of validation and despair. As the defense attorney took to the stand, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. "The prosecution would have you believe that my client is a killer," he began, his voice smooth and calculating. "But we will show that the evidence is tenuous at best, circumstantial." Anna clenched her fists. She knew this would be the angle inferring doubt rather than proving innocence. Witness after witness took their turn on the stand, recounting the events leading up to Alyssa's death. Each voice carried a weighty anticipation and fear that had stretched since that rain-soaked night. Katie, Alyssa's friend, couldn't hold back her tears as she testified about her last conversation with Alyssa, her spirit evident through the heartbreak. Days rolled into weeks, and with each cross-examination, both sides painted pictures of Alyssa, a vibrant soul, lost too soon, contrasted against Marcus's increasingly troubled portrayal. Through it all, Anna held close the faces of those who had loved Alyssa, their faces a solemn reminder of the stakes at hand. Then came a pivotal moment. Marcus took the stand, his bravado winnowing under the glare of the prosecutor's probing gaze. "Why did you meet Alyssa that night?" the prosecutor demanded. "It is just business," he stammered, the confidence oozing from him like a mirage. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen." The crowd shifted uneasily. Anna sensed the tides turning. With the jurors by his story flimsy claims that fell apart like ash. Anna leaned back, exhausted but resolute. She thought of Alyssa dreams that had been extinguished and the fierce need for accountability that burned within her. Finally, the jury was sent to deliberate, tossing Anna and the gathered supporters into a tense, agonizing wait. The clock ticked slowly, elongating seconds into an eternity. Conversations faded into silence, the air thick with anticipation and dread. When the courtroom doors swung open, everyone held their breath. Moment had arrived. The jurors filed in, their expressions grave, and the foreman rose to deliver the verdict. Anna's heart pounded violently, clinging to hope and fear as the words rang out. "Guilty." The word echoed through the chamber, a chilling yet righteous affirmation that justice had found a foothold in the darkness. Emotions erupted, the courtroom transforming into a cacophony of tears and relief. Anna felt tears prick her eyes as the weight of everything finally washed over her, the pain of loss, transforming into a beacon of healing, at least for those who had mourned Alyssa. And though they would never bring her back, justice had been served. A community united in grief and strength was on the brink of mending, one moment at a time. Chapter 9. The Aftermath. In the months that followed the trial, Cedarwood began to breathe again. Though the scars left by Alyssa's tragic fate lingered in the hearts of its inhabitants, the air felt different. The vibrant hues of autumn leaves weren't merely a backdrop, but an echo of resilience, underscoring the quiet determination to honor Alyssa's spirit. Detective Anna Weston walked through the town, conscious of the palpable change enveloping a community, grappling with loss, yet strengthening its foundation, galvanized by grief into action. Memorial gatherings replaced whispers of fear, as art installations showcasing Alyssa's work filled local cafes and galleries. This was her legacy. It sparked creativity in others, urging them to embrace life with fuller heart. Still, Anna wrestled with her own feelings of inadequacy. The courtroom drama might have reached its end, but the memories of those stark moments haunted her dreams. Each night, fragments of Alyssa's laughter mixed with darkness, taunting her with questions that felt unresolved. Echoes of reminding her that justice, while served, was never complete. One evening, after another long shift at the station, Anna found herself at the Rusty Nail, a quiet refuge where the bar's familiar hum of voices became her solace. She caught sight of Alex, now working behind the bar, with a sense of camaraderie that mingled in the air. "Hey, you all right?" he asked, pouring her a drink with a knowing smile. "Trying to keep it together," she admitted, her voice tinged with vulnerability. "It feels like we did something important. But it doesn't feel finished." He completed for her, sensing the weight she carried. She nodded, the truth in his words heavy. She nodded. I know it's naive, but I wish we could have done more. Alyssa deserves so much better. Sometimes just being there for each other is enough. Alex replied, a gentle sincerity weaving through his tone. She's inspired so many people to create, to remember. Maybe that's how we find closure. His words struck a chord, igniting a flicker of hope. Maybe the aftermath could revolve around healing, around remembering Alyssa, not just as a victim, but as a beacon that inspired others. In the following weeks, Anna collaborated with other community members to establish the Alyssa Fund, aimed at providing scholarships to young artists in Cedarwood. Fundraising events began to pop up, connecting local talent and fostering Adriana's dream of bringing artistic expression into the spotlight of purpose, beyond simply time spent in memory. As the fund took shape, Anna felt a lightness begin to overshadow her burdens. The darkness that had threatened to engulf her began dissipating under the collective effort of her community. The threads of lives intertwined, each creating a tapestry of shared purpose and resolved grief. But even as the echoes of that tragic night receded into the past, Anna knew she remained vigilant. Cedarwood would always need protecting from the shadows lurking beneath its surface. With a heart steadied by purpose and a community united in remembrance, she embraced her role anew, ready to safeguard the dreams enriching her town, determined to honor a girl whose light still shone brightly in their collective memory. Chapter 10. Reflection. As the seasons shifted and the chill of winter settled over Cedarwood, Detective Anna Weston found herself standing at the edge of Salmon Creek, where she often came to think. The water flowed steadily, luminous under the midday sun, its presence a comforting reminder of life's continuity. Here, it was easy to let her thoughts drift, an ebb and flow mirroring the memories she had carried over the months. She thought of Alyssa Green, the young artist whose vibrant spirit so tragically ignited a fire within her community. Navigating through her emotions, Anna reflected on the lives forever altered by loss, yet vibrant in the wake of sorrow. See how vibrant in the wake of sorrow. The conversations she had shared, the bonds forged through grief and remembrance, had painted a different picture of this town that once felt dominated by fear, now bursting with creativity and connection. Each time she revisited the stories of those she had lost or saved, she felt echoing reminders that every life was a thread in a larger tapestry. Alyssa's legacy was no longer just a story of tragedy. It was woven into the hearts of those determined to embrace the beauty of existence, an enduring reflection of hope and resilience. As the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in hues of orange and purple, Anna whispered a silent promise to Alyssa that she would continue to be a protector of dreams, honoring the memories of those who had passed while ensuring that future generations would have the canvas to create their own stories.